Welcome to this short online tutorial on revising for exams delivered to you by the Ask Academic Skills Service. We're going to be looking at the stages of revision, some strategies to help you organise your revision time, and to look at some different revision strategies for you to try out. The first thing is to be prepared, so consider the following questions to make sure that you're making the most of your revision period. Plan ahead and think about how many exams do you have, how long is each exam, how many questions will you have to answer, how many topics will be covered in the paper, and will the paper be divided into sections. Your subject lecturer will be able to help get answers to these questions. Let's have a look at the stages of revision. Let's start off at the top left. What topics will you revise? Once you get an understanding of which ones you have to look at in detail, we can then move to the right and think about the next stage of consolidating your understanding. So going over your notes from class, from lectures, your external reading, and make sure that you really understand the topic in detail. Moving on to the next stage is going over areas of weakness to make sure that you don't get marked down for the same things that you've possibly lost marks on before in a particular topic area. Towards the end of your revision period, we then want to develop our memory skills and then practice testing yourself as you near towards the end of the revision period, as you near the start of your exams. It's also crucial to organise your time wisely. So here are some tips. Make a plan of tasks and set regular and realistic goals. So planning out your time and setting bite-sized goals will be easier to achieve than setting yourself one high goal in which you're possibly going to find problematic in the short and long term. So making a plan of daily tasks and trying out different ways of organising your time can help you to experiment during the revision period to get the most out of your revision time. And more help on time management can be found on Blackboard under the Ask tab. Remember that planning your time wisely is especially important if you have daily commitments which affect the amount of flexibility you have in your timetable. For example, if you have outside work commitments. There are lots of different revision techniques which you can try out. So here are a few and let's go over them. At the top left we have bullet points. These are great as a way of quickly accessing information and looking over your notes briefly, and they can help you to outline the key issues and points from a particular piece of text, so you're not having to note down absolutely everything. And they're a good way to test how much you remember if you just think of a topic and see how many bullet points you can come up with. On the top right hand corner we see posters. Posters are a creative way of trying to revise a particular topic, and they're best used towards the end of your revision period where you can try to recall information from images and keywords. In the middle of the screen we have another technique titled writing summaries. This is a great way of reinforcing your understanding of a chunky piece of text. Listening back to recordings can also help if you've been able to obtain permission to record lectures and seminars. Brainstorming ideas are also a brilliant way to see how much you remember from a topic, and are also a great starting point to see how much you initially know about a topic before you go into detailed revision. Looking at past papers are a great way to practice under pressure, answering questions under timed conditions. It's important to also consider your environment when you're revising, so think about where and when you manage to get the most work done, and schedule revision time during these hours. Think about whether or not you're a morning person or whether or not you feel more awake during the early evening time in terms of your concentration levels. Do you work better in your bedroom or outside, in the cafeteria or in a coffee shop or in the library? These will differ depending on your timetable, and try to schedule revision time during these hours will make the most of when you are most alert. But remember to give yourself breaks too, and everyone works differently, so you don't need to work in the library just because your friends get the most work done there. Really reflect on what is best for you. In summary, plan your time wisely. Try out different revision strategies to see what works for you. Plan ahead and schedule time for revision and short breaks. Consider your environment and keep in mind your exam format and revise strategically. For further information, check out the Ask website, Blackboard section and interactive resources. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and if you're a Brunel student, you can also book an appointment with an Ask advisor online and contact us via email at ask@brunel.ac.uk.